Want to thank you for coming out tonight. Of course, this is a rescheduled program, and we did this was supposed to take place last week, and we got hit with that snowstorm, and we had to reschedule. But last week we had a ton of publicity, way in advance, and so forth, and then now it's hurry up and try to reschedule and get this back on track, but not being able to reach all the same people, that we reached out to leading up to last week. But we are here to celebrate the life and times of Malcolm X, who unfortunately does not get a lot of the same recognition as some of our other freedom fighters, and and I'm sure there's good reason to that. But we are honored to be able to pay tribute to a great human rights activist and freedom fighter who was always constantly growing, expanding his worldview and knowledge of international struggle to go along with the struggle right here in the United States. Unfortunately, he got taken out before he could really fully mature as the dynamic individual and organizer that we all saw that he could be, but still, he left such a tremendous mark on the world and on society. And I think we got folks here that could really express that. And that's why we invited them to be a part of this tribute to Malcolm X. And with that, I want to bring out one of the guys. I've known him now since the early 80s when he first came here and performed, and that he works with various groups and he's a dynamic poet and a musician artist as well. And he'll be featuring some other young talent that's going to speak to the nature of struggle. So with that, I'm going to thank you for being here. Community Awareness Series of the Jersey City Free Public Library. I believe we're the only department or library program in the city that pays tribute to Malcolm X. And so we're very proud of that. And with that, let me introduce you to Ras Ujima.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Ras Ujima, and one of the founders of the Black Circle Symphony. And because of the snowstorm last week, some of our special guests have to go to Brooklyn tonight to do another event. And so I wanted to introduce Negros Americanos. They entertain, they educate, they empower. Bishop, the Eastside Nappyhead, and MC Enigma. Hailing from Newark and Plainfield, New Jersey, these brothers saved up money and spent the whole year living in the barrios of Panama City. Learned to speak Spanish and formed Negros Americanos. These two MCs, songwriters, are dedicated to raise the bar in music, experimenting with international blends and exploring topics often overlooked or taboo in hip hop. The aim of each Negros Americanos presentation is to entertain, educate, and empower. Please journey with them.
Check it. My crew be thorough like the Camille Yarborough pouring libation for those who die for our liberation. The fire burning and And money we're not earning, so my mind's like ice cubes on higher learning. Check, my mind turning cause they still after Rasada. While Malana Garanga teaches principles of Kwanzaa. Amiri Baraka traded his slave name. Leroy Jones and Toby are one and the same. Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay, Sophie Carmichael, the Kwame Torre. Should I change my name to match my African frame? Cause I ain't originally from France or Spain. Thoughts like that plague my brain, so I speak in riddles. So who are you, Malcolm X or Malcolm Littles? Who are you, Malcolm X or Malcolm Littles? Who are you, Malcolm X or Malcolm Littles? Peace. We're Negros Americanos. Yeah, we're gonna do some acapellas. How you guys doing?
All right.
Happy Black History Month.
Thank you.
We're commemorating Malcolm. Yes, we're at the closing, so we're gonna keep this strong. Born black in America, in New Jerusalem, I learned who's true, down for you and who will use him. And this guy wouldn't spare a French fry. He'd rather drink the well and leave his people dry. But let him tell it. Hey yo, he's one of the fellas who claimed to even help me on my acapellas. Gave me knowledge of self, protection and wealth. Now rejected, felt entitled to the food from my mouth. The plot shifted. Identify the wicked like Judas. Why Brutus did it for the golden ticket. Purify your cipher. Friends you choose wisely. Trust your instincts. Make moves precisely enticing. Delilah as a wifey, I have to pass on that one. The drama don't excite me. The scooper man, same ones that you were inviting, would set you out at the velocity of light.
I never thought that you would be so cruel. I never thought you would ever play me for a fool. But I've learned never say, never say, never. Never say, never say, never say, never, never. I never thought that I would blow neither. My mama always used to say it, never believed her. But I've learned never say, never say, never. Never say, never say, never say, never. Hey, it's me from a long time ago. You know, the one that left scared and naked with the blindfold. Of course, it's something that never actually happened, but it's the only way to get you this emotion while I'm rapping. And back then, I was just a humble nugget. I always had big money schemes or wasn't getting nothing. And you always had dreams of living lavish. So you wouldn't left me for somebody more established. And my first thought was bloody murder. I stepped back thinking how I'm gonna use the situation to take me further. I went away and started training. I came back a year later like I'm in a hyperbolic time chamber. Like this here, man, I got this. Met with Enigma and started plotting. I rise to the top and then we're not stopping. Even when things get rough, I tell you, I never look for no other option. I never thought that I would be so cruel. I never thought you would ever play me for a fool. But I've learned to never say, never say, never. Never say, never say, never say, never. I never thought that I would blow neither. My mama always used to say it, never believed her. But I've learned to never say, never say, never. Never say, never say, never say, never. Just never say never. Struggle makes you beautiful. This is off our debut project coming, and it features Abby O'Doon from The Last Poets, so it's got a huge OG blessing, and it's a beautiful thing. Struggle makes you beautiful. This is to help you whatever you may be going through. You got to get up from off of your knees looking vulnerable, learn to change your behavior. Ain't nobody gonna save you, it ain't no lifelines. Friends, I must have phoned a few, but guess what? In the end, I was alone with who? Me, myself, and I. But I promise I was never heated. That's all I ever needed to keep myself alive. But it's living enough. Not with these sentences they giving to us. It's cool to survive, but I want to thrive and live it up. When dreams come slow, do you wonder why? And give it up. The dream is a process. You gotta grind when it gets tough. Trust me, a brother do it often. The moves we make so we can stay out of a coffin and keep your head up in these streets and try to keep the beast up off you. Everything you want in this life, you'll get it in time. Miss a grind, and I'm going for mine, steady working, yes. And that's what you should do. Life's a struggle, baby, but the struggle makes you beautiful. Everything you want in this life, you'll get it in time. Miss a grind, and I'm going for mine, and steady working, yes. And that's what you should do. Life's a struggle, baby, but the struggle makes you beautiful. Check a jail cell is built before you lie in a quilt. The jury is still looking like your color means guilt. Still loving to read, still teaching the seeds. Yo, we still got no love for police. Still more unemployment and watch the crime rate increase. Lined up at the ballot box and vote for the beast. Fallopian squeeze. Margaret Sanger wants you extinct. Yo, they still don't want you to think. Plant extermination, virus in the vaccine spraying.
chemical trails. Now gods are ovulating, opposite of Satan, G-O-D. Tune into the frequency, righteousness will prevail and overthrowing decency. Thievery, trickery, don't want me to believe in me. The most high's on my side, no one is seeing me. Even if you carbon copy, no one is being me. Struggle for a while, surprise how we switch scenery. Everything you want in this life, you'll get it in time. It's a grind and I'm going mine. Stay working, yes, yes, yes. And that's what you should do. Life's a struggle, baby, but the struggle makes you beautiful. Everything you want in this life, you'll get it in time. It's a grind and I'm going for mine. Steady working, yes, yes. And that's what you should do. Life's a struggle, baby, but the struggle makes you beautiful.
And we appreciate that. Like sometimes it's good to, just do opportunities so you guys can hear exactly, what it is. For this last one, we're going to introduce you to two individuals that you already know, but you may not know that you know, okay? Their names are Charlie and Raheem.
Here we go.
Charlie, you always wanna bother me. When I come into your neighborhood, you follow me.
Yo, at night, he's hard to see, and you could try to run from him and
Think you got away, but his squad is deep. They mob the streets, shooting and killing indiscriminately.
Hem you up and treat educated brothers criminally. They also make decisions in top positions that make your life hard to live. You don't follow politics. You say that it's too corrupted. I say no, your enemies better than those that you grew up with.
Is Charlie to be trusted?
With Charlie on the banks, the jails. He got a war against drugs, but he begs from sales. Lord have his mercy. Charlie is one hell of an adversary. He can practice mind control and so cold that you could look into his eyes and never find his soul. He said examples of past revolutions that have you acting scary.
I said you never find his soul. He said examples of past revolutions that have you acting. Who's that making it hard for me? Steady starving me, keeping me in poverty. It's Charlie, but who's robbing me? Making my neighborhood a murder scene, murder scene. It's Raheem, but one couldn't do without the other, so together, it's Charlie and Raheem. Ooh, yeah, sing it out. Charlie and
Hey, yo,
Raheem.
I knew you from way back in the school hall. We used to give me dap and never made it too far. He steady drifted. One day I didn't see him at all. What a waste of talented youth, cause he could ball. But he had a thing for guns and the sound when they shoot. Got caught up with the violent crew and drifted further. Now he dreams of vivid murder because he sold his soul to the devil in the illest virgin. Now what to do? Charlie got your mind in the days and twisted. You looking at me like I'm a slave to the job. While you steal and rob, get locked up to be a slave to the system. You got your face put. Yo, I'm not amazed, but I'm listening. So hear me out.
Why would you never rob Charlie, but look at me like I'm the greatest victim? Because you know they would give up the search for my killer. For his, they find the right perpetrator and get him. Who's that making it hard for me? Steady starving me, keeping me in poverty. It's Charlie, but who's robbing me? Making my neighborhood a murder scene, murder scene. It's Raheem, but one couldn't do without the other. So together, everybody, it's Charlie and Raheem. Ooh, yeah, sing it out. Charlie and Raheem. Charlie and Raheem.
Here we go.
Charlie and Raheem. Come on, baby.
Last time.
It's Charlie and Raheem.
And that's our time, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen.
Remember Bethune, remember Douglas, remember Evers, remember King, remember Garvey, remember Haile Selassie, Malcolm Little, Malcolm X, El-Hajj Malik Shabazz. We are all vaguely aware of the atrocities. The word has been passed down, and though hidden, the truth has survived. Learn all there is, know what it means to be black, and remember to tell your children. Let them know. Do not plant seeds of hate, but be sure your kids understand each day in every way. And mostly, if you look kinda closely, remember to take care, cause this poem is for unity. This poem is for strength. It is all the Rastaman have, is it all the dreadlocks give. I hope you like it. Be at peace. Be at peace. Give me some rolls, Barry. Give me some palm, Barry. What about some tips? Tip it up, 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 tip it up. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you, my friend. Assalamu alaikum is what I say when I meet a brother and greet a sister, when I meet somebody new. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. If you knew who Malcolm X is, you would shout it out loud and proud. Assalamu alaikum. Brother Dawood, we should introduce our next guest.
Rush Ujima, Black Symphony, Central Symphony. So it's good to see some conscientious young brothers that got their finger on the pulse and is conveying this not only to us, but to a lot of young people, whether they're in Brooklyn or Jersey City or elsewhere. So we're very happy that they are part of this tribute. Right now, we're going to set up for another dynamic poet with some great musicians, and that, which includes none other than Abdul Mbab from Senegal, and he's going to perform on traditional kora, and the kora. We got Michael Logan on bass, and Barry is on congas, and coming out a little later, the band's gonna warm it up, and then we're gonna hear from the fabulous Michael Goins. So let's give him a nice round of applause.
Can't breathe. Hands up. It's hunting season. And black man, you're the prey. After all, this is America the Beautiful. The land acquired through genocide, built on slavery, and thrives on hate, greed, and deceit. Now, there is a justice system that's blind, but only to the truth. See, they use a balancing scale, and those who have money, well, they don't go to jail. But this war on us, you know, the one they call drugs, notice they never seem to apprehend the real thugs who import this mess. But the young and poor, oh yeah, you're always subject to arrest. And with their silent code of blue, some feel free to harass or kill you. Oh, we seek justice, but there won't be a real trial because some way, somehow, they always get to step off wearing a smile. Hey, ask ask yourself what's true. Has Big Brother used intimidation, criminalization, or assassination of any individual or organization that would stand up and oppose the status quo? Oh, then use the media to spin it and tell you whatever it is that they want you to know. It has been said they went as far as to pull off a coup de grace. And what did the media say? It was that eyeball fellow who killed JFK. Some say it was a lie, but they still stand by. Thick ass thieves. Hey, do you remember former Vice President Agnew? Oh well, see, he was indicted for fraud of income tax revenue, but he got a pardon from his boy, Tricky Dick. See, Richard didn't want him to snitch about any of his little dirty tricks. Oh, then came that actor who played the role of Commander-in-Chief. Hey, don't get it twisted. There are those who say the man was a creep. See, voodoo Reaganomics took from the working class poor so that the upper 2% could satisfy their need for greed. Yet our nation that's indivisible took the liberty to deprive the rest of us. And this was from the government elected by who? Oh, rest assured, they didn't represent you. This is America the Beautiful, the land acquired through genocide, built on slavery, and thrives on hate, greed, and deceit. Right, they called it. Civil unrest, the wrath of the people, protests taken to the extreme. Now, let me back that up. Right, they call it. Civil unrest, the wrath of the people, protests taken to the extreme. Nothing planned, more of a spontaneous reaction to the actions of a racist moron playing the role of an assassin, and all under the watchful eye of the FBI. But the slaying of this king ignited a rage that had been simmering from all the indignities and injustice suffered by the poor, black, and underprivileged. It was boiling over and steaming with anger and frustration that had to be released, brought about the big clash between civilians and police. Riot, they called it, civil unrest, the wrath of the people, protests taken to the extreme. Now, there was a time when colored folks or Negroes would be tolerant of this brutality, but this was the time of blackness and the young brothers simply had enough. The fuse wasn't just lit, it exploded into the faces of the exploiters who came within and took it all out, giving nothing back, including meaningful employment to anyone who was black. So if you expected sympathy, forget that. It was burn, baby, burn. Hey, that's where it was at. Not a plot or plan, but a spontaneous reaction to the actions that killed the king, igniting a rage that had been simmering, then boiling over and steaming with anger and frustration that had to be released. Riot, they called it. Civil unrest, the wrath of the people, protests taken to the extreme. Retaliation, if you know what I mean. Some years ago, the NAACP held a funeral. Unfortunately, the deceased turned out to be an undead zombie. But I am not your N-I-double-G-E-R. Not yours, his, hers, or anybody else. So young brothers, slow down, check yourself. Now, I know you don't want to hear that because you say it's old school and today you have new rules. Well, okay, so you go out and hustle every day, but you can't get it right, so it's 3 strikes and now your ass is serving life. The new rules made just for you. But hey, I understand how the introduction of drugs has turned righteous brothers into thugs. the babies that made babies but didn't raise them. And it all began with a generation past that didn't school the next, which has helped create this uninformed generation X who has regressed into a mind-blowing state of ignorance with no knowledge of self or respect for anything or anyone else. Hey, you say you're hungry, but do you ask your neighbor for a meal? No. You'd rather break into their home, vandalize and steal, or shoot one another on corners over petty-ass drug deals. Oh, you're an embarrassment and should be ashamed of what you are. But rest assured, I am not your N-I-double-G-E-R. Not yours, his, hers, or anybody else, so don't call me that. And people say that crime is black on black, but oh no, I don't think so. See, black and proud is a dignified way of life, a state of mind that defines who we are, and we only hope that you're not really N-I-double-G-E-R. You know that shiftless, lazy, good-for-nothing derelict who lacks any real intellect and don't care who, what, when, or where. But let some others spit it back and whoa, you get all bent down to shape. Well, hey, it's too late, see. They're laughing in and out of your face. Then say, what? Oh, now you want to play the card race. Hey, young sisters, what has happened to you? Have you forgotten that it's black and naturally beautiful and not being played out by these blonde-haired celebrities selling delusions of grandeur? See, that's not being yourself. That's a pseudo-portrayal of somebody else. Hey, you want a new look? Try a makeover called respect for yourself. But no, you can't get with that. You'd rather shake and bounce to some rap that calls you a ho-ho. To make matters worse, you spend your money to see their show. Ladies, it's supposed to be queen bee, not blue eye contact wearing wannabes. But hey, you can fool yourself by denying who you really are, but I'm not your N-I-double-G-E-R. This last piece was actually one of the first poems I ever written, and it was actually converted, and it was the inspiration for a play. So I hope I'm throw a little history on you, and I hope you enjoy it. You may recall, or know nothing at all, of the time when peace, power, and anti-war movements consumed the land. And when citizens weren't at ease with the government's policies, they made themselves heard through their actions as well as words. Do you remember back in the day when people stood up and they had something to say? Black and proud, saying it loud, all power to the people, hell no, we won't go, or in Jim Crow. There was Malcolm X, Huey Newton, Stokely Carmichael, Abby Hoffman, Angela Davis, Fred Hampton, oh, just to name a few who stood up to make the government see the people's point of view and not accepting things as they were, but willing to make change occur. And with red, black, and green being the colors of the day, there was the Panther Party that fed the hungry and kept the pigs at bay. They took a trip to a state capitol house. Oh, the bureaucrats were scurrying all about trying to hide away. Ronnie baby was so scared he liked to wet his pants as he ran away. Do you remember back in the day when people stood up if they had something to say? John Carlos and Tommy Smith expelled from Olympic Games because of a glove and fist. And Ali had his title taken away when he said his name wasn't Clay. Got no beef with them Vietnamese and shown no respect for his religious beliefs. Yet Ho Chi Minh is the enemy we can't defeat, but willing to knock us down with fire hoses in the streets. And there was draft card and flag burning sit-ins. You didn't feel the need or want to fit in. March in Alabama, whoa. They sick the dogs in civil unrest. Oh yeah, we do protest, and still the chickens come home to roost. And when the courthouses filled up with charges based on lies and deceit, was the People's Power movement that took it to the streets. Let Angela go. Let Angela go. Whoa, don't act like you didn't know that it was J. Edgar who was running the show. Now, if he was part of a plot that killed the Prince of Camelot, or if he was part of a plot that killed a king or not. It's Hoover that should have been got. Well, some would say. And with society in complete disarray, young people were viciously brutalized for wanting to express themselves with a peace rally in a Chicago park that police turned into a riot after dark. And there was segregation, integration, civil rights, the inner cities aflame with the politicians in denial, and they knew that BS wasn't right. They sent out U.S. stormtroopers to roam about the land. They were shooting down college students who protested against the war in Vietnam. Oh, then we had Agnew's tax fraud and Nixon's Watergate, both forced to resign in disgrace, and there were law enforcement agencies that implemented these SS Gestapo-like tactics to terrorize, and to no surprise, the Hampton murder, they tried to conceal the court's mistreatment of Bobby Seale, and the massacre at Attica that just didn't seem real. And just when you thought you seen the worst, there's a media deception covering up the truth about Patty Hearst. Do you remember back in the day? People stood up if they had something to say back in the day. What happened to the revolution? Okay, politics. Now, it's a touchy situation for some people, but for me, I believe in what I believe in, and that's kind of how it goes. So, do a little piece called Republicans. Once upon a time, right now, oh no, here we go again. It's another group of Republicans. And it starts with a tricky dick, then a ray gun, and on to a Bush. Oh hey, remind me, which of the three said, I'm not a crook? Yet, as leader of the pack, he got the axe. Something about illegal wiretaps. But Junior seemed to get around that little thing they call the Liberty or Patriot Act. He seemed to think that it allowed him to do whatever the hell he wanted to. Hey, have you ever been by yourself at home but feel you're not quite alone? It could be paranoia. Then again, it could be the tap, tap, tap they've got on your phone. But they tell you, hey, it's okay. Give away your rights. It's all for the sake of America's righteousness versus communism. Oh wait, that's a terrorist. But once upon a time, right now, oh no, here we go again. It's another group of Republicans. And it was Reagan who showed them how to downsize, which allows the profits to maximize, along with outrageous budget cuts while the people take it up the, you know what. Oh hey, did you hear when one of the Bush cronies said, kill all black babies to reduce crime? Oh yeah, you best keep that in mind. And let's not forget who created the current strife for stress, or their campaigns for more of the same. But oh wait, coming to you live from the far-right red states, it's a Tea Party waving flags of hatred and bigotry. But once upon a time, right now, oh no, here we go again. It's another group of Republicans.
Thank you again. Rashid is going to come back on, but the beauty here is that you had like the young poets and you got the veteran poet like Michael, but they got the same clear vision. So there's no confusion there as to what's going on here in the world. And if more people had that same unified understanding and consciousness, then we would have less of a problem. And as Michael's poem said, you know, those that stood up, where are they now? And that, so, you know, these are some dynamic wordsmiths, poets, spoken word artists, and we're very happy that they're here to share their talents on this very special occasion, that is the life and times of Malcolm X in tribute. So with that, We got Rashi Jima and some of the band.
And we also wanted to incorporate all of those other ancestors that we honor. Jah of our weary years, Jah of our silent tears, Jah who has brought us this far on the way, Jah who has by your might led us into the light. Keep us forever in the path we pray. Our Father who art in Zion, white man owe me 11 and pay me 7. Thy king man come, thy will be done. If the Rasta hadn't taken that, he would get none. We gave the world language, mathematics, science, music, architecture, engineering, and medicine. Even today, we are innovators. We create rock and roll, hip hop, jazz, and all the latest dance move. Created most of America's early inventions when it was illegal for us to read or write. We dominate any sport. In the golden age of our African civilization, the rest of the world saw me, the black man, as God. Poor Malcolm, such a great man. Why couldn't we understand? There was nothing to be afraid of. We should have given the brother a hand. Poor Malcolm, such a brave man. Why couldn't we understand? And of all the songs the children sing that praise the life of a great man, why is there no ballad for El-Hajj Malik Shabazz? Poor Malcolm, such a strong man. Why couldn't we understand? Poor Betty, they just upped and killed your man. Poor Betty, she looked so sad as she cried into her hands. Poor Malcolm, such a good man. Why couldn't we understand? He just wanted a life much better. He just wanted us to be together. Poor Malcolm, such a proud man. Why couldn't we understand? To love, to protect, to have a place for ourselves. What happened to all them dreams? What happened to all them dreams? It seems they're just gathering dust up on the shelf. And poor Malcolm, such a great man. Why couldn't we understand? And of all the songs the children sing that praise the life of a great man, not one for El-Hajj Malik Shabazz. Not one for El-Hajj Malik Shabazz. Not one, not one. I didn't tell him to stop. We thought it was a great opportunity to incorporate our brother into a rhythm that we was going to do, because there is one word, unity. How good and pleasant it is for us to dwell together in love and unity. That's very important to all of us. So I thank the African gods for making it possible for us to do a rhythm with this brother tonight. It's called Ago. And the words are Ago o Michaye, Ago o Jarastaye, Bo no Ago Mato, Ago o Jarastaye. You don't mind if I teach tonight, do you? No. So brother, this rhythm goes like this. Alright? Yeah, Brother Abdul. So Brother Abdul, we're gonna do a call, we're gonna play the rhythm, we're gonna do a call again, chant the words, do the call again, and solo. All right?
I think he's got it. Let's see him play.
Sister, can you just put that little African prince hand up in the air for me, please? Yeah, he put his hands up. He know who I'm talking about. That's the son of our South African drummer. Yeah, and we love him. Come on up on stage with us, man. Come on, man. His daddy came here to this country and was on Broadway and left a little son here in New Jersey.
All right. Move up in the front, next to him in between. We get a picture. Yeah. There we go. Okay.
Give it up for Brother Abdul, all the way from Senegal, West Africa, y'all. There was something very profound about Malcolm X. One man can make a big difference in this world. One man can make a big difference in this world. There's a brother in this building tonight. His name is Dawood. Kind of like that great David who slew Goliath. This is the man who's been doing this work here in New Jersey City for over 30-something years. Because I testified in February of '82. I was right here on the stage for Black History Month. I ran off the stage of the Apollo at a tribute to Bob Marley, because then I was a baby Rasta. That's why I always take that picture around. It means a lot to me. Anyway, Dawood, I salute you tonight, sir. There's some people who tonight had a prior commitment. This event was scheduled for last Saturday, and there was a snowstorm. It was postponed for today. But some people had a prior commitment. So this next poem is called Prior Commitment. You sure look good in that new vest. If they had a fashion show, you'd be the best. Did you let Juan do your curls? When it comes to Jericho, she is the best around here. Did you see Dynasty last night? Them women got into a heck of a fight. Crystal blustered Blake with Alex in his arms. The next I knew, them girls were throwing down. That show knocked me off of my feet and kept me on the edge of my seat. Heard there was a rally against apartheid last night. I just couldn't go, I just couldn't go. I heard there was a rally against genocide last night. I just couldn't go, I just couldn't go. I heard Dawood had an event last night. I just couldn't go, I just couldn't go. After watching Dynasty, I had to iron my Sergios to get ready for that designer jean disco. Had to grease my Bo Derek braids. Please don't get me wrong. I'm down for the cause, Dawood. I just had a prior commitment. Please don't get me wrong. I'm down for the cause. I just had a prior commitment. Upon being convinced of their non-existence, they were easily wiped out. Upon being convinced of their non-existence, they were easily wiped out. Please don't get me wrong, I'm down for the cause. I just had a prior commitment. Keep on rolling. Black History Fact. In February of 1990, Nelson Mandela was released from prison. Black History Fact. Carter G. Woodson was the second African American person to earn a PhD from Harvard University. Recent history fact. Did you know the U.S. Congress and House of Representatives gave an apology for slavery in 2008? Commemorating the 200th anniversary of the ending of slavery. This is a message to the grassroots. A ballot or a bullet. Prospects for freedom still, by any means necessary. By any means necessary. Have you ever heard of Ghana, Cuba, Vietnam, the Congo? Lumumba and Nkrumah, Medgar Evers, Kennedy and Kennedy, the Black Panthers? These were the going-ons in the 60s when Malcolm was around. You heard of the African and Asian Revolution? These were the going-ons at the time of his assassination. Did you ever hear of Ras Jima? He was going on at the time of the assassination. Court. Whoa, in Soweto. And I can still hear the children crying. And I can still see the faces of the dying. And I can imagine all the bullets flying. And I can still hear the government lying. And I can still remember Steve Biko dying. Whoa, in Soweto. Learn the language of the alien people. Don't you know by now that yours is inferior? Come together. I'm tired of crawling and begging the boss. We won't move, no, we won't budget all. Whoa, in Soweto. And I can still hear the children crying. And I can still the faces of the dying. And I can imagine all the bullets flying. And I can still hear the government lying. And I can still remember Steve Biko dying. Whoa, in Soweto. And I can still hear the children crying. And I can still see the faces of the dying. And I can imagine all the bullets flying. And I can still hear the government lying. And I can still remember Steve Biko dying. Whoa, in Soweto. Tell me, do you remember the children of Soweto? Don't you ever forget the children of Soweto. We can rally round each other. Mother, father, sister, baby, brother. No, I and I are the children of Soweto. John O'Parshall, him want budget all. Whoa, in Soweto. And I can still hear the children crying. And I can still see the faces of the dying. And I can hear the government lying. And I still remember Steve Biko dying. Whoa, in Jersey City. Give me some bounce, as the young kids say. Give me some bounce. You know, it's a very important thing about Malcolm. All he needed was a microphone or no microphone. No internet, no Instagram, no Facebook. Look at the impact he made. No high school diploma. Look at the impact he made. No college degree. Look at the impact he made. No laptop. Look at the impact he made. And in his time, there were bullshifting words around. Doing all they can to keep the people down. As you can tell, this is called bullshifting words around. They're bullshifting words around, wailing at the wall and shooting Palestinians down. They're bullshifting words around, trying to make the world think that they're getting down. They're bullshifting words around, trying to buy some time so they can gain some ground. They're bullshifting words around, calling out for peace and building nuclear bombs. They're bullshifting words around, taking people's land as if it were their own. They're bullshifting words around, sending out the fleet to kill the mouse that roared. You can tell they're lying by the look in their eyes, making laws against the children on the planet Earth, making laws against the children on the planet Motherland, serving ketchup for lunch, and treating old folks like dirt. While we call ourselves Negroes, colored, niggers, blacks, anything but African, because they're bullshifting words around, doing all they can to keep us down. They're bullshifting words around, doing all they can to keep the people down. They're bullshifting words around, doing all they can to keep the people down. They're bullshifting words around, doing all they can to keep the people down. Bullshifting words around, bullshifting words around, bullshifting words around, bullshifting words around.
It's amazing. After you've been doing this thing for so long. See, I'm not a commercial artist. I'm a folk artist. That means I can go anywhere, any place on this earth and do my thing and get an applause without paying. I don't have to bribe my audience because I've been doing my thing for so long with so little. I can make my audience appreciate what I'm doing. Even if they've never seen me before. They haven't heard me. They might not have seen me on YouTube. But I do my thing well because I'm protected by the Most High. I say, Assalamu alaikum. You know, when I was a young man, I attended college for a while. And I didn't know too much about the Nation of Islam. And this young man, a character by the name of Minister Farrakhan, came to Livingston College. And I went out and the place was packed. I was like, wow, this is gonna be some heavy shit here tonight. And what an impression he made. And he's still around today. A man with words and a microphone. And come unity. Dawood, you know who I'm talking about. Sister Amira. Come unity. Yeah, because you know, you can have a great leader, but without our come unity, that great leader don't mean too much. Martin Luther King without the Montgomery bus boycott. Malcolm X without the Nation of Islam, the Black Nationalist Movement. Marcus Garvey without the great followers worldwide. Why? Because the people need these great minds. I'm gonna drop this other poem at you. This one is called Year in Review. You know, we just passed the end of 1 year. So usually, like Kwanzaa challenges us to prepare for the new year. Well, this poem kind of does that, and it's kind of like a review. And some of these poems, I've been doing them for a while because, you know, I've been doing tributes to our heroes and our martyrs for a long time. I love doing that because I found out that a lot of people need a different point of view sometimes to see things. You know, like, you don't usually get to see the Rasta man on the ABC, CBS, or CNN, or all these news medias every night, do you? So it just might be good to have an opportunity to see Rashid Jima do his thing. This one is called Year in Review. I hate to say I told you so, but that seems to be the case. I know it's the last thing you need to hear, but there's some things we gotta face. You didn't believe me yesterday. You called me racist. So you said. And though I rapped about it yesterday, it's all taking place today. Hate to say I told you so, cause you got all that you can handle. Why? With unemployment, high rent, and bills snatching you in your chest. They built their world on paper, forgetting that the Rasta diamonds stand forever. Had us invested in all savers, condominium stocks and bonds, and now that all the estimations and predictions are turning out wrong, everybody's blaming it on everyone else, cause nobody wants to take a fall. They call it a recession, it's really a depression. You see, not everybody's struggling, just you and I on the bottom doing all the suffering. And I hate to say I told you so. But there's some things we gotta face, like why can't the richest nation educate, care for, and or feed the young, the poor, the old? Things like free health care, free education. It's not as hard as fat politicians make it seem. It seems like they want us to die ignorant. Our body is riddled with disease. I believe there's a cure for cancer. It's just not on the news. Because cancer is big business. And the Babylon is out to make that buck. Power to the people trying to free the land. Power to the people trying to free the land.
Do you know that Babylon trains the repressive government troops and the State Department sell trucks, tanks, guns, and bullets to shoot the freedom fighters down, or is it up? I raise my fist and dedicate my spirit. You remember Mandela? He was in jail almost forever. Hitler said, I told you so, but that seems to be the case. I hope you believe by this time, so we can pull together and save the human race. Malcolm Little, Malcolm X, Alhaj Malik Shabazz. Alhaj Malik Shabazz. It's called Year in Review. There's something very important about water. In my culture, we pour libation. Loud, very loud. We pour libation to our ancestors. We pour libation to our family here tonight. We pour libation for good health and strength. We pour libation for the prisoners and the freedom fighters. I pour that libation for Dawood. I pour this libation for that brother who saw the need for me wanting this water. By a show of hands, if you have or ever had a mom, could you please raise your hand, please? Wow. Everybody had a mom? When you see her, you'll desire to meet her because she is especially special. She is really something else. She can understand topsy-turvy when I put it right side up. Now, roses and diamonds I threw at her feet because she stood the test of time. She be comfortable eating cornbread or sipping the most expensive wine. She is a cool breeze in the summer. She is warmth in the cold. She is spirit. She is divine. She will live generations and she won't ever die. You see, she is of the feminine gender. She is love, she is peace, she is strength, she is sister, she is mother, she won't fight and she won't surrender. You see, she's an angel. Rasta angel sent to I. I hope you like it. When you see her, you'll desire to meet her because she is especially special. Really, something else. You know, we really must put these things in context. Another Black history fact. Malcolm's mother was the product of a rape in the Caribbean. Malcolm, as a child, said he was very little, and the Ku Klux Klan came up to the house, parading. Where's your daddy? He's not here. Scared little boy. Later, his dad was lynched. He fought from Malcolm Little to Malcolm X to Alhaj Malik Shabazz. I'm going to give you a quote from his very words, and you might get a better idea why I've been rambling on tonight. If the entire American population was properly educated, by properly educated, I mean given a true picture of the history and contributions of the Black man, I think many whites would be less racist in their feelings. They would have more respect for the Black man as a human being. knowing what the black man's contribution to science and civilization has been in the past, the white man's feelings of superiority would be partially negated. Also, the feeling of inferiority that a black man has would be replaced by a balanced knowledge of himself. He'd feel more like a human being. He'd function more like a human being in a society of human beings. So it takes education. It takes education to eliminate racism. Malcolm Little, Malcolm X, Haj Malik Shabazz, a man who became an uncompromising champion of his people, in itself a remarkable feat. Malcolm went beyond this feat, though he came from the American ghettos and directed his message to the people in the American ghettos. First of all, he became in his brief lifetime a figure of world importance when he was assassinated February 21, 1965. Just because you have colleges and universities doesn't mean you have education. The colleges and universities in the American educational system are skillfully used to miseducate, are skillfully used to miseducate, miseducate, miseducate. You know, a mic and the people. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, I'm gonna do a rhythm so you can get an idea of what my group is about. My group was started by myself and a young 90-year-old on December 31st. 1999, January 1st, 2000. And there's a young man, Brother Gibbs, who was present that evening. This was at the turn of the millennium. They were saying that the world was going to come to an end. So I decided to have a party for the kids in my town in New Brunswick, New Jersey. And there was a young man, Wakiba Julian, who I saw potential in. As a young black man. He was 9 years old. He had turned 9 that November. He's now 24 years old. He's a phenomenal drummer. Barry was also instrumental in teaching him. I'd like to introduce Barry Rubin. Barry, do a solo for us. Barry was the first student that I ever had. You know, when you're growing up sometimes in the black community, it takes people from outside to come in to see the work that you're doing to identify the greatness that's right there in your community. Barry was one of those people who allowed me to develop my skills as a teacher in African drumming. When Barry started off when he was a student, he couldn't keep a rhythm without going off beat. But now, he has a bachelor's in music, he's a band leader, and he's quite a phenomenal young man. All right, we cut. You know we're doing hip hop. We gotta stop it sometimes. Yeah, we just wanted it to groove because, you know, for that short time Brother Malcolm was around, that brother was grooving, yo. I mean, 50 years later, and as much as Babylon don't like Malcolm, Malcolm still be moving and grooving and doing all the things he need to be doing. But mostly, if you look kind of closely, Malcolm be grooving, yo. I ain't lying about that at all, you know. I might get real hip hop now. I said, I ain't lying about that at all, yo. Malcolm be grooving, Dread. If you believe Malcolm be grooving, say yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of things that we all have in common. And one of the things that we have in common in this land is the Pledge of Allegiance. If you agree, say yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, this is a different Pledge of Allegiance than the one you may be used to. This is a different Pledge of Allegiance than the one you may be used to. I pledge allegiance to the millions of individuals worldwide subjected to the injustices perpetuated by the racist and money-hungry leaders of their countries. May the leaders rot in hell. I pledge allegiance to all those who have given their lives in an attempt to shine in the light of the truth. I'm here to take your place. I pledge allegiance to the children of the world and dedicate my life to eradicate the ignorance, the selfishness, the greed, and the corruption which may serve as barriers in their search for freedom and self and identity. And if the law my neck they take, I pray, O Jah, my soul you take. For it is not enough for us to identify with the struggle for liberation. What's needed is constant physical, psychological, and economic commitment. I'm urging you to pledge allegiance, for this is a different Pledge of Allegiance than the one you may be used to. This is a different Pledge of Allegiance than the one you may be used to. The one you may be used to. Used to. Barry think I'm working him. But when you're hanging out with Malcolm, your ass gotta work hard, boy. And I'm the spirit of Malcolm up here tonight. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you, my friend. Assalamu alaikum is what we say when we meet a brother and greet a sister. Meet somebody new. Assalamu alaikum. Through my eyes, I see pretty things. Through my eyes, I see pretty things. The flowers in the garden, the bright green leaves on a big brown tree. I see you, and oh, what a beautiful you. Through my eyes, I see pretty things. The big white clouds in the light blue sky. I see you, and oh, what a beautiful you. Through my eyes, I see my life. Gibbs, you know, there's been a little bit of bad in my life. Still, the Rasta man is glad of his life. I see you, and oh, what a beautiful you. Through my eyes, I see pretty things. The seasons change one by one. The soft spring breeze, the summer sun. The winter snow, fall comes last. One by one, the seasons pass. I see you, and oh, what a beautiful you. Through my eyes, I see pretty things. The foamy white water in the green blue sea. I see you, and oh, what a beautiful you. Through my eyes, I see pretty things. The children at play. Oh, let them play. Teach them the right. Teach them the right way. They'll have their day. But for right now, please let them play. I see you, and oh, what a beautiful you. Through my eyes, I see pretty things. A world at peace. No more war, just smiles galore. All people really truly free. Oh, what a happy, wonderful world I see. I see you, and oh, what a beautiful you. Through my eyes, I see pretty things. The spider web, the birds in flight, the old people sitting on that ugly park bench. They say, come here, Rasta man, I got something I want you to fetch. I see you, and oh, what a beautiful you. Through my eyes, I see pretty things. 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 I see you, and oh, what a beautiful you. I see you, and oh, what a beautiful you. I see you, and oh, what a beautiful you. What a beautiful you. What a beautiful you. What a beautiful you. Hello, how are you tonight? Give it up, y'all. You know, we always hear the saying, it's Black History Month. That's something that I wonder about. Is history black? Or is history white? Or is it just history? Well, it actually started by Carter G. Woodson as Negro History Week at Howard University. Through brothers like Dr. Clark and Dr. Bland, it's now African Heritage. But I say African Heritage for life, because I really do think that we should celebrate the red, the black, the green, all year, every year, from birth till passing. And I wanted to thank you for coming out. I'd like to thank those two Caribbean persons, Pansy and Fred, who made a twin that I happen to be one half of. They're ancestors now, but I still gotta say thanks. And I want to say really, thank you for coming out, because as you heard that poem, you could have decided to have a prior commitment tonight. You know, some very important things are very small. Right, Tiff? It's just like the top of a match. That's the only thing that lights the damn thing. Very small, part of the match. Malcolm was only one uneducated brother in the Nation of Islam. What an impact he made. I hope tonight, you know,
I had an incredible show put together with horns, gospel, jazz, Wakiba. Barry would not have been here tonight because last week we had a prior commitment. You think? But the snow came, so Tawana Brockington, an incredible female poet, was supposed to be here. Negros Americanos, they were here. Wakiba, the West African dancers, 4 young ladies from Sierra Leone. But tonight they couldn't make it. So I prayed and I said, you know what? If Malcolm could make a great impression with a mic in the 50s and the early 60s, with a mic and the grace of God, I said, I could do the damn shit in the 2015. You don't know, the Rasta man vibration is positive. It is? Say it loud, sister. I did it.
Put it down.
I put it down. You know, sometimes we black men like hearing that sound.
You put it down.
Does that sound nice, Steph? She said, that black man put it down. Yo, one more time, I want to say thank you to my mama and my daddy for making that possible. Because if they didn't do the damn thing, I might not have been here tonight. As the young boys, you know, I got some young kids too. As they put it down, they say, yo, that shit's real. But once again, I want to say thank you. And before I go, the Brothers Negros Americanos, they're some phenomenal hip hop artists. If you had heard them with their tracks, y'all would have been partying up in here to that conscious stuff, just like we did to Bob Marley when we were kids. I want to do a little rap because, you know, I'm at war with some of these hip hoppers. Because in our community, we have made millionaires out of some people who call our sisters bitches, sluts, and hoes. I'm at war at Jay-Z. I'm at war and a lot of them suckers. If you feel me, say yeah. Yeah, I got 4 sisters and a mama. I don't think that shit, JC, and your whole crew of hip hoppers. Better come up with a new name. I'm gonna do this thing one more time. Because I didn't like B, S, and H, I'm gonna say it one more time. When you see her, you'll desire to meet her because she is especially special. She is really something else. She can understand topsy-turvy when the Rasta man put it right side up. Now roses and diamonds are through at her feet because she stood the test of time. She be comfortable eating cornbread or sipping the most expensive wine. She is a cool breeze in the summer. She is warmth in the cold. She is spirit. She is divine. She will live generations and she won't ever die. You see, she is of the feminine gender. She is love. She is peace. She is strength. She is sister. She is mother. She won't fight. She won't surrender. You see, she's an angel sent to us by Jah Rastafari. When you see her, you'll desire to meet her because she is especially special. Really, something else. JC, I'm at war at your ass. Your millions of dollars don't mean shit to a Rasta man. The vibrations is positive. And if you feel it, say yeah. Yeah. The reason why I could get an applause like that is because I've done this from coast to coast. Ask Dawood, he can tell you. Black History Month, 1982. I left the Apollo Theater and came right here at this stage, and we were chanting, because right after Bob Marley passed, they crowned a new king of reggae. His name was King Yellowman. King Yellowman. So when we came on the stage, you know, we had to get right on down to the shit at hand.
Over me, yes, they mad over me a lot. Over the whole of this cultural center was jamming. It was my first time at the Apollo, and I had to leave. I couldn't really enjoy that night. It was the first tribute to Bob Marley in history. I was a baby Rasta then, and you know, as the young boys said, I was kicking ass then. We were performing almost every day. Like Negros Americanos, we would leave one venue and head to another venue with my drum on my back. I'm gonna do one little rap. I wish Jay-Z would do it, J. Cole, all these young brothers. I said that I gather all around, yes, and listen to the rest of my tale, y'all. You know it's all about the world, it seems to be. I just headed straight to hell. And you pick up the daily paper, yes. You listen to the radio, hey, everything just a damn negative. You turn on the picture show. A bang, bang, it's another shoot 'em up, smack him upside the head. I said the TV's why the people are just turning out dead. That's why I call the world to order, cut out all the foolishness. If we don't, ignorance will wipe us out, and the world will be all over. That's why I call the world to order, cut out all the foolishness. I said that if we don't, ignorance will wipe us out, and the world will be all over. Dawood, you in the house? Yeah. I just want to say good night. Yes, we have a request for the young man to do a little bit of drumming. Please. Go right ahead, young man. Thank you.
All right, thank you for coming out and sharing this evening with us, Rash Jima, and the band, as well as Michael Goins and the group. So we have flyers on the back of next upcoming programs that we have here in March, coming up in April. We welcome you back, and there's a couple other locations as well that we'll be presenting some programs. Also, we have a petition in the back. We hope if you haven't already signed it, sign it. That's a petition supporting our program, getting a fair budget, and being able to continue these kind of programs in through the next millennium. Any case, thank you for coming out tonight, and all the wonderful artists. Thank you very much.